Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome to the second episode of sort of my map mastery as part of mastering ranked play. And this map, we are going to be covering our Bagra Fortress, which is one of the most played maps because it's available in all game modes. So yeah, if you want to better your chances of winning games when you're on this map, stick around because we're going to be going through the callouts and following it up with some tips and tricks, some creddy spots for SMGs and ARs to use. So we're going to be covering things like some creddy S&D spots as well as some nice bits to nice places to use in hardpoint. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on with the call out. So this area we're at currently is P2, and we've got two arches here. One is going to be called open, and then the other one closed for obvious reasons, like because of the doors. So this is P2. You've then got double doors here, moving into P4. And then you've got prisons in here, so bar prison, closed prison, depending on where you are on the map. You've then got top rails, which is up here, and this moves round to balcony, which is here, and then double steps, which is obviously these steps here, which are these two steps here, because there's two sets of steps. Moving back to where we just were here, you've got this trailer here, so this is going to be 18-wheeler or truck or lorry or that sort of thing. Scaffolding in this general area just here, forklift, pickup, and then moving back down to here, we're going to have, this is what we call art, just because of the lovely paintings we have around us. And then back up here, you've got, this room is top single, because there's one window, and this is called top double, because there's two windows. People like to call this boat, just because there's a boat in it, so whatever suits you guys best. This general area here, I like to call street, just because one, there's a car on it, and two, it's like just a long lane. And then we've got P1 here, blue truck, red truck. I don't really know why this is called blue truck, but this is that's what they call it, a white truck. And for obvious reasons, that's what it is. So this is P1. You've then got cannons, cannon heady here. This is called roof, because you can get up on top of here. So this sort of area is just called roof, and then bench back here. Moving to this sort of region of the map, obviously you've got, again, closed and open. You've then got hay here, and then P5. You've then got statue as well, which is where this is pretty much. So statue heady would be here. P5 is here. Then you've got stables. So you've got close stables. So for example, you're pushed from this side, you'd say he's in close stables or far stables. Or if you're the other side, then this would be close stables. That would be fast stables. So yeah, fairly self-explanatory so far. And then obviously this is all P5. You then move through this area to P3. Yeah, and this is pretty much just P3. You can have specific callouts for like this area sort of here, but generally this is the area called P3. And then we move over to fountain, which is just here, because obviously it's a form of fountain or swimming pool. And then up here you've got cages, just because obviously there's a cage. And then top plat sort of be up here, or like top plat rails, which is sort of on this heady here. But say if you call out top plat, this is the sort of area they're going to be in. Finally, there's one more area that we want to cover here, which is in here. So in here we've got top maps, which is here, mid balcony, which is here, and then finally you've got bottom maps down here. So that pretty much covers everything. You can have more specific callouts for different areas of the map, but generally speaking, they're the main callouts you guys are going to be needing for your team to do the best they can. Right, moving on to the tips and trick sections of the video. This is going to be a little bit longer because there's a lot to show, but bear with me. You're able to jump up onto this gallows here. So if you were being creddy and S&D, and you sort of, or if you're watching this area, you can just jump on top of here, and you've got a nice little angle here to watch people come out from. You can even lay down to watch their exit through here as well. Moving. Nice little spot, good to use. You've then got to bear in mind when you're here, this is all wall bangable. So if you're challenging this hill and someone's sat on this heady, it's always worth wall banging this area of the map here, because chances are you're going to be getting the kills, and there's pretty much full damage through here. So that's always worth noting. And then moving back towards the backside of P2. Actually, no, before we go that way, say you are channeling through these arches, these ledges here you can jump on top of. So when I'm channeling P2, I like to check the sort of it, and then jump, and then walk along that list. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit of a weirder angle for them to be able to kill you at, and the same thing is applicable in here as well, like so. Whilst we're here, there's this little gap. So say, for example, you're in S&D and you want to just be cruddy and watch their bomb push. You can see it from here. And similarly, if you're at the bottom of these stairs, you can see under this door. And when you're playing S&D, this is nice because you can see the whole across the hill. But you do have to be aware, and you do have to have another teammate behind you watching these two exits, plus the P1 push. So, moving back to this area over here, you get on top of these barrels, on top of this lumber. Say for example, it's your role in this, say the hard points up here is to watch the closed arch and the back. You can sort of do it from here, and you can even get on top of here if you wanted a little bit more of a higher point of view just to see through to top rails in there. You can also get behind on top of here as well if you wanted to chow top of that sort of area, and additionally you can get on top of this truck right at the back here if you want to even weirder sort of off angle through to P2, and you can also sort of see into top rails there as well. If you are trying to play creddy and someone spots you running around here, you can actually run around this vehicle and back and chow. It might catch them off guard, and it might not be useful, but it is worth noting. Finally, you can jump into these windows, and this is how you do it. You just jump onto this, and then wide swing out, like that, straight up to top rails. You don't have to jump onto the truck to do it. You can do it from these barrels. So, like so, and then up we are. Furthermore, from these, there is a hill in here. I think this is P4. Furthermore, you can jump on top of this truck and you can lay down and you can watch the whole push from bottom here. You are covered from this area of the map as well, and you are blocking spawns in this position, so that is also worth noting. There's a lot of creddy spots back here, so you are absolutely hidden in these bushes. If there's no red dot above your head, you're going to be catching them off guard, and you know it's just a nice creddy spot to take note of. And similarly, there's bushes here as well. So yeah, make the most of your bushes if you're trying to be ready. Obviously, you can climb on top of this sort of rack in all sorts here. There's nothing too interesting to show here. So let's move on to the areas of P4. So P4 is this area here. You can capture the hill from this area. So you can be here on hill and be watching, I don't know, top or their P2 push. But generally speaking, you don't have to be down there to be capturing the hill. You can do it from here, and you can do it from here as well. Whilst we're up here, you can jump onto this door, and from here you're on a hill at this point, and you can. It's just another weird angle to be able to capture the hard point at, and you're a little bit unpredictable. And from here, you can watch their push-up dubsteps, which is a nice little heady. They don't expect to be watching this, so this is definitely worth noting because it catches so many people off guard, especially in the CDL mosh pit. And I'm sure when rank comes out, it's going to be a bit OP. And then finally, moving on to this sort of area. So this area here, a lot of people sort of are waiting here for people to come through this door. But in fact, from dubsteps, you can jump up like so, and then you have the advantage here. If you're trying to be creddy, say if you want to try and watch the street and you're trying to be creddy, you can sit in this corner, like so, watch street. They're not going to be checking this. I mean, this is the dirty corner. You're protected from behind as well. So this is a nice little creddy spot to sit watching that. Moving on to this sort of area over here, I tend to avoid sitting behind this truck if it hasn't blown up, because obviously one grenade can just end your life, so it's not worth doing. But say this is sort of a spawn point for S&D, and what I do recommend doing if you are watching the lane, jumping on top of here, like so, and you can get a nice point of view down this lane here without being completely in line of sight of people. Say, for example, you're in a 1v1 and you're not sure where they're going to be going, and you want to watch the cross. You can actually see, probably not so good with an SMG, but with the sniper, you'll be able to catch the cross, if not to kill them, for intel. So you can watch the cross through this little gap here. So, for example, if you're not sure whether they're going to be rotating it back to B, you can literally sit here like this, and you can pretty much see if they're going to wrap it to B. If not, you can just confirm that they've gone A. It's as simple as that. And now you can get on top of both of these lorries as well. You guys probably know all this stuff. This is pretty common. Like so, and you've got a nice heady up here. Similarly, you can jump up from these boxes onto the truck, sorry, and you're here again. And you can do that sort of, and then from here you can jump onto the roof. There are a bunch of ways you can get onto the roof. So you can do it from this bench, like so. You can do it from these barrels here. So if you know someone's on P1, and you want to try and get up, you can wide swing like this and chow them like that, but you are open to the left side here. And it is also worth noting that this is wall bangable from, like, if you're getting shot sort of in this area, if this door's in the way, it's not bangable, but if you're shooting this area without the door, you will be able to wall bang. And it is also worth noting that you can be shot underneath. This is actually a nice lane, so you've got quite a wide angle here to be able to shoot people across. It's enough time to be able to beam them. So this is a nice place to be able to sit. Similarly, you can see under here as well, but it's obviously not as much as an advantage, let's say. From this red trailer here, you can jump to their top, which can be a little bit unpredictable, but it's a nice little maneuver just to catch them off guard a little bit. And also from here, you can jump up these double windows. So say you're on these boxes and you're trying to get into this hill, you sort of just want to aim for this window, and then it sort of slides you along, and then you're up. And you can do a similar thing to this side. So if you wanted to jump up that window, do it like so, and you're in. While we're here, this sign is a nice little spot to sit on top of. People don't often check it. You are high up, and you know what? It's a nice little angle of this most of the area of the map. If you knew someone was here, you could wide swing and jump like that. Chances are they're not going to expect you to come that high into their field of view. So that is worth noting. This area here while we're here. So from here, if you wanted to watch this sort of area angle here, you can actually set yourself up behind it. This is wall bangable, so it's not worth staying behind it for long because you will just get beamed through it. But you've actually got a nice angle through to that archway there, where you're going to be able to call out and at least put out some starting damage, let's say. While we're in this area, the map, there aren't too many places over here worth noting. But if you're stuck in here and you've got to chow someone who's top there, you can literally stand on top of this thing, cage thing, feeding trough, whatever you want to call it, and you can beam them from the top, like so. You can get on top of here, on top of this guy's head, but I don't know how useful this actually is, so maybe not worth noting down. But you can also get on top of this horse, like so. And from here, you can jump up to here and then chow P1. So if you are stuck back here and you can't really get across, that's also worth doing. Similarly, if you're trying to chow someone who's up here and you're in a bit of a gunfight, you can jump up here like so, jump across, and then surprise them with a nice attack there. They won't be expecting that. If you are up here and you're trying to chow P1, which is down there by the two trucks, it is worth doing it from here rather than like coming out here and doing it, because they are going to expect that. I would always make sure that door's not open. Always come here and do it first, just because it's a little bit more of an off angle. You're not gonna be shot from double windows or archways or anything like that. You can chow it from here, and you are a lot more secure in that position. Whilst we are down here, this area is a little bit of an OP area. So if you say, for example, you're trying to be credible, you're trying to play your life a bit, you can literally lay it on here. People run past you, they're not going to see you. You can see their entry, and you can just stand up and beam them. Similarly, you can do it at this angle, but you are a little bit further out here, like so. If you want to chow double arch, instead of coming up to this heady, I mean, the door's open the wrong way. Say you want to double arch, what I like to do is jump on here and then strafe across like so. It's a mean heady to be able to get beamed off of, so you will be winning that gunfight if you jump from there. From up here as well, you can see top plat. So say for example the hill's open over in P3. It's always worth checking top plat here just to make sure if anyone's watching it. And you can do a similar situation from top of this roof up here. You can chow. If you can get up here, you can chow left here, and you can beam people who are low and left there, like so. So whilst we are over here, a lot of people commonly sit over here, so this is worth noting if you are chowing out. As if you're coming out of here, always check up here as well. But generally speaking, there's not too much area you can sort of do in this area of the map. One area worth noting is this angle here. So if you're trying to watch this archway to see if anyone's pushing, say if you're holding this hill, this is a nice little angle to hold, because there's no real headies they can contest you with here. So you've got a free beam like so. And then from here, you can also get on this awning bit here and do a similar thing. You can also see here from there, but you can also jump over here. So if you want to travel double windows, this is a nice little angle here, and you can also watch the top here. So if it was my duty, if I was being told by the IGL that I need to watch their push out through cages, I would sit here and watch their push here. But the time to kill is so quick, you're going to beam them before they can even react from this position. You can also get onto this plant, which again is just an angle. You're not going to be too visible, so if you're trying to watch their push through here, you can beam them like so. Additionally, you can see sort of into that window just there. Not really. Not really. So in this fountain area, say if you've got a teammate on the hill, pretty much if you're on this hill, you've just got to stay down. As long as you've got a trophy, you just sit back here, let your teammates hopefully do the rest of the work. It's always worth maybe having a teammate back here, because if anyone wide swings to kill the person on the hill, it's an easy beam. However, if you do want to watch front from a sort of different perspective, here's a nice little spot to be able to beam from. You are a little bit open to anyone pushing out of here and here, but if you've got teammates behind you sort of watching that area, you should be good. But this is the mean headed to take you off. It's going to be hard for them to rip you off that. You can also jump onto this bush like here and watch this push from here. But again, you are even more open to these sort of areas like so. I see a lot of people, to get up here, I see a lot of people jumping on these boxes and jumping up like so. By the way, this is a mean headed to have as well. So if anyone's chilling out here, this is a nice area to hold. To save your time, you can just jump like so up to here, and you can see that the only problem with this point though is they can head glitch you back through the stairs. So I do, if this is purely useful for only having one mantle involved to get up, rather than having to do 2 mantles and then you're up, it's just quicker and more efficient. You can also get on top of this one, and this is probably a little bit nicer for you to be able to hold this heady as well, because they're not going to expect this, especially they're not going to expect this. So this is a nice little area. And then from here, you can jump up here, which again, not sure how usable this is, but it's worth having. Again, if you were to watch this, you could jump out, or you could be watching down through the archway on the left here from P1. Can't quite get up there again. From P1 like so, you can beam anyone coming through there, but you might get beamed back. That's the only problem. So yeah, I think that's actually going to do it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found at least one of these things in here useful. If so, I've done my job. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. I think the next one I've got coming is going to be on Hydro or Embassy potentially. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao for now.